When the Galactic Council issued its sanctions against humanity, it did so with casual certainty, as if stamping out a minor inconvenience rather than isolating a developing species. And the vote passed in a chamber of light and stone where representatives of 100 civilizations sat in comfort, believing the matter settled. Because humans were new, loud, emotionally driven, and according to the Council's long records, technologically inferior and politically fractured, and the sanctions were designed to hurt slowly by cutting off trade routes, freezing interstellar banking access, denying navigation data, and labeling all human space as restricted, which meant lawful targets for inspection, seizure, or destruction by Council patrols. And the architects of the decision spoke openly afterward about teaching Earth a lesson in humility. While on Earth, the announcement arrived as a dry transmission relayed through outdated channels because the main diplomatic network had already been shut down. And in a secure room beneath the North American Defense Complex, Daniel Harper listened to the message in silence as analysts around him exchanged uneasy looks. Harper, having spent 30 years in military logistics and now serving as Director of Interstellar Security Coordination, a role created after first contact but never taken seriously by politicians until now. And when the transmission ended, no one spoke until Harper said that sanctions were an act of war whether the Council admitted it or not, and his words were recorded and later replayed in hearings that would change the course of human history. Because within hours, cargo ships were being turned away from neutral ports, human merchant crews were detained, and a science vessel near the Kepri Gate was boarded and dismantled under Council authority. Its crew released days later with warnings that further violations would not be tolerated, and the footage spread across Earth networks, igniting anger that crossed borders and ideologies. While in Geneva, Ambassador Laura Bennett stood before an emergency assembly and tried to speak calmly, explaining that humanity had complied with all Council regulations, that the dispute over mining rights in the Virex Belt had been exaggerated by rival corporations backed by older species, and that sanctions would only destabilize the region. But her address was drowned out by the reality that humanity had been judged without defense, and far above Earth, on the Moon Titan, Marcus Hale walked the silent corridors of the Atlas shipyard, where half-finished hulls hung like skeletons in dry dock, projects that had been underfunded and politically inconvenient, experimental designs meant for exploration and disaster response rather than war. And Hale, a systems engineer with a habit of seeing patterns others missed, received the same sanction notice and realized something the Council had not considered, which was that isolation removed oversight, and oversight had been the main brake on human innovation since first contact, because every engine design, every weapons test, every navigation experiment had required Council approval, and now there would be none. And on the Council world of Ethrax Prime, Councillor Threx, a senior delegate of the Corlean Union, reviewed the situation with satisfaction, noting that human protests were loud but meaningless, their fleets small and outdated, their political unity fragile, and he reassured junior delegates that sanctions would force Earth back into compliance within a decade because no species had ever prospered outside the Council system, not understanding that humanity had evolved outside systems far harsher than economic isolation and back on Earth. As markets crashed and off-world investments vanished overnight, something unexpected happened. Governments that had argued for generations found common cause. Defense budgets were unlocked without debate. Civilian manufacturing was redirected. And research groups that had been constrained by ethics boards influenced by Council norms were told to proceed with caution but without delay. And in a briefing room filled with worn flags and hastily installed star charts, Harper addressed a Joint Command Council made up of admirals, scientists, and industrial leaders, saying that humanity would not challenge the sanctions directly, would not plead or posture, but would survive them, and survival meant self-sufficiency at a scale never attempted. And as weeks passed, Council patrols reported reduced human traffic and assumed compliance, unaware that human ships were simply going dark, using experimental drives that bent local space-time just enough to evade standard detection. Prototypes once rejected as unstable now refined under pressure, and in the asteroid field beyond Mars, construction platforms multiplied, assembling vessels whose profiles did not match any known human class, built modular and adaptable, designed to operate without external support. And when a Council inspection flotilla attempted to approach one such site, their sensors failed simultaneously, forcing a retreat that was quietly logged as a navigational anomaly. While on Earth, Bennett resigned her ambassadorial post and accepted a new role as civilian liaison to the emerging Unified Defense Initiative, believing diplomacy would return one day but knowing it could not lead now, and in a laboratory buried beneath the Atacama Desert, DR. Samuel Brooks tested a power distribution network that allowed sustained output far beyond Council safety limits, a system deemed reckless by alien standards but efficient by human ones. And as the months turned into a year, the Council noticed something troubling in delayed reports and scattered encounters, which was that humanity had not collapsed, had not fractured, had not begged for relief, and Threx dismissed early concerns, attributing them to human stubbornness. But he could not explain why sanctioned space showed increasing energy signatures, why neutral traders whisper about black-hulled ships escorting convoys through supposedly restricted regions, or why a Corlean cruiser that attempted to seize a human freighter near the Elton Drift was disabled without a single recorded weapon discharge, its crew later claiming their systems had simply been taken from them. And on Titan, Marcus Hale stood before the first completed vessel of a new class, its name not yet decided, its hull unmarked by tradition, and realized that the Council had made a catastrophic mistake, because by trying to contain humanity, it had removed every constraint that had kept human ambition small and somewhere far from any Council world. The foundations of superpower were already set in motion. As the first human superpower began to take shape, the galaxy remained blissfully unaware of the scope of what was unfolding, because Council reports still describe humanity as compliant but struggling, a species flailing under sanctions yet surviving by stubborn persistence. And on Earth, the Unified Defense Initiative coordinated the efforts of governments, private industries, and scientific communities in ways previously unimaginable, channeling resources toward advanced propulsion modular, warship production, artificial intelligence development, and weapon systems that were both unconventional and devastatingly effective, while Marcus Hale oversaw Titan shipyards where dozens of massive vessels, some longer than the orbiting platforms of entire alien colonies, were constructed under a veil of secrecy, employing experimental gravitic engines, adaptive armor that could heal minor hull breaches, and energy weapons whose outputs far exceeded any known interstellar standard. And every day, human crews trained in simulated battles designed by AI strategists who studied alien fleet doctrines and developed countermeasures faster than any Council theorist could imagine. While back on Earth, scientists led by Dr. Samuel Brooks perfected a network of autonomous drones capable of self-replication, energy harvesting from local cosmic phenomena, and precise tactical strikes, effectively creating a spaceborne militia that required no human pilots and could deploy en masse to strategic points throughout sanctioned space, and in orbit around Jupiter. An experimental testing range saw the first successful trial of a quantum cloaking field, rendering entire fleets invisible to conventional detection systems, a breakthrough that, when combined with adaptive armor and high-speed kinetic weaponry, promised that any attempted assault on humanity would be met with overwhelming, undetectable retaliation, and as the Council debated budget reallocations for increased patrols, unaware that human production capacity had multiplied exponentially, Harper coordinated communication between colonies scattered across Mars, Titan, the asteroid belt, and orbital platforms, ensuring that each shipyard operated with maximum efficiency and that all resource extraction was optimized to support the construction and deployment of fleets designed to intimidate even the oldest interstellar powers, while Dr. Brooks' team experimented with energy weapons that could target shields and hulls simultaneously, capable of delivering concentrated bursts of velocities so high they rendered conventional evasive maneuvers ineffective, and human diplomats, now mostly sidelined, worked to obscure these developments behind layers of misinformation, leaking carefully curated reports of failures, shortages, and internal disputes to alien observers, creating the illusion that humanity remained weak, scattered, and constrained, all while the real progress accelerated beyond comprehension. And in deep space beyond the Virex belt, experimental human fleets executed mock engagements against AI-controlled alien tactics, simulating every conceivable Council countermeasure, and each trial revealed that human designs were not only superior in speed and firepower, but in flexibility, capable of adapting mid-battle in ways the Council had never theorized possible. And as the first year of sanctions drew to a close, Harper convened a strategic summit on Titan, where every project director, fleet captain, and AI specialist presented progress reports that astounded even the most skeptical human observers, because the projected fleet strength, firepower, and technological sophistication far exceeded any council projections. And in that room, Marcus Hale spoke quietly, reminding everyone that the council sanctions had been intended to weaken humanity, but had inadvertently unified the species, removed bureaucratic constraints, and forced innovation at an unprecedented rate. And across Earth, in hidden laboratories and orbital platforms, automated factories produced not just ships, but entire ecosystems of support drones, repair units, and logistic platforms, ensuring that each deployed fleet could operate independently for years. While in a rare moment of insight, Ambassador Laura Bennett, now serving as a liaison between human projects and civilian oversight committees, noted that the Council had fundamentally miscalculated human resilience, because while other species relied on strict hierarchies and rigid protocols, humans were improvisers, adapters, and learners who thrived under pressure. And on Titan, as the largest vessel yet was launched, its hull shimmering under artificial sunlight, Marcus Hale remarked that when the Council finally realized their error, they would face not a single fleet, but an entire civilization ready and willing to fight for survival, to innovate beyond expectation, and to assert dominance in ways that no interstellar power could contain. And quietly, across sanctioned space, scouts reported faint energy signatures, black ships moving unseen, automated drones performing reconnaissance, and minor skirmishes with alien patrols that ended without human casualties, but significant confusion for the invaders, marking the first tangible demonstration that the sanctions had not weakened humanity, but had catalyzed the creation of a superpower capable of challenging, overwhelming, and ultimately reshaping the very balance of galactic power in ways that the Council could not yet imagine. As humanity continued its hidden expansion, the galaxy remained blind to the true scale of the transformation unfolding in sanctioned space, because Council sensors reported only scattered, low-intensity activity, while the reality was far different, as across the inner solar system, Mars' terraformed regions had become logistical hubs for shipbuilding and resource processing, with entire valleys converted into automated production lines where ores were refined, fuel synthesized, and hulls constructed at rates previously thought impossible. And Marcus Hale supervised the deployment of autonomous construction drones capable of working in unison to assemble massive vessels in record time, while human engineers led by Dr. Samuel Brooks perfected energy systems that could sustain weapons and propulsion simultaneously without overheating, exploiting physics at the edge of Council understanding. And as these fleets multiplied in orbital and deep space shipyards, AI war planners simulated hundreds of scenarios, combining human intuition with predictive modeling that accounted for every known alien doctrine, including the aggressive Corellian tactics, the deceptive Scythian maneuvers, and the overwhelming firepower of the Virax Armada, creating battle plans that were adaptive, anticipatory, and ruthlessly efficient. While on Earth, Harper coordinated interplanetary communications with civilian industries and scientific teams, ensuring that each new technology developed for propulsion, energy storage, or weapons deployment was immediately integrated into fleet design. And as months turned into years, the Council began noticing anomalies. Patrols reported fleets disappearing, probes returning incomplete data, and minor skirmishes resulting in alien losses with no human casualties recorded, leading Council threats to dismiss early warnings as technical errors, unaware that human cloaking, quantum communication scrambling, and autonomous tactical units were operating perfectly. And in deep space beyond the Kuiper Belt, human scout drones observed Council fleets approaching, cataloging every weapon system, every formation tactic, and every procedural quirk, feeding the data back to AI systems that immediately adjusted fleet configurations and training protocols, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of improvement that left humans perpetually one step ahead. While back on Titan, Marcus Hale unveiled the first wave of adaptive warships capable of morphing there, hull profiles mid-flight, shifting armor density, and rerouting energy between propulsion and weapons in real time, an innovation that rendered conventional targeting systems nearly useless. And in orbit around Jupiter, experimental gravity manipulation allowed humans to test new orbital combat maneuvers, exploiting planetary fields to accelerate, decelerate, or change vector faster than alien physics calculations could predict. And across Earth, Bennett and her team of civilian liaisons manage a delicate balance of public perception, releasing carefully curated news of minimal progress, while the real industrial and scientific efforts expanded exponentially, generating fleets, energy grids, and weapon systems far beyond what the Council imagined, and as fleet commanders conducted simulated engagements in deep space test zones. The AI simulations revealed that human strategies combine both aggressive offense and disciplined defense, capable of overwhelming superior numbers. Without suffering meaningful losses, and on Mars, industrial complexes operated autonomously under centralized human oversight, producing modular components that could be assembled into ships, drones, or weapon systems depending on immediate strategic need, while orbital platforms harvested energy from solar flux and cosmic radiation, storing and distributing it to both civilian and military installations with perfect efficiency, and the first skirmishes with minor council patrols became practical exercises where human ships emerged unscathed, while alien vessels reported system failures, miscommunication, and tactical collapse, which the Council initially misattributed to anomalies or mechanical errors, unaware that humanity had systematically integrated AI, advanced energy systems, adaptive hulls, and cloaking technology into every deployed unit, and Marcus Hale, walking the decks of the largest Titan shipyard vessel, observed as crews trained in virtual and real maneuvers. Noting that the sanctions had inadvertently removed all oversight, freed human ingenuity from bureaucratic chains, and forced unity across nations and industries, creating not merely fleets, but a civilization operating at peak efficiency, capable of unmatched strategic foresight, rapid technological innovation, and overwhelming military effectiveness, and quietly, across the inner and outer solar system, the first true human superpower began to take shape, a force so disciplined, inventive, and unpredictable that when the Council finally grasped the scale of what they had unleashed, it would be far too late to contain, and humanity, once underestimated and dismissed, prepared to show the galaxy that sanctions had not weakened them, but had forged a civilization capable of redefining power, technology, and the rules of interstellar engagement. As humanity's superpower continued to solidify, the galaxy still misread the signs, because Council fleets remained confident that the humans were struggling under sanctions, yet across Mars, Earth orbit, and Titan, the pace of ship production, technological experimentation, and strategic planning accelerated beyond anything the Council had ever witnessed or imagined, and Marcus Hale oversaw the construction of vast vessels capable of independent operation for years, each equipped with adaptive energy shields, morphing hulls, and gravitic propulsion systems that allowed sudden bursts of speed, unpredictable maneuvers, and the ability to strike or evade at distances previously thought impossible, while Dr. Samuel Brooks' teams perfected energy projection systems that combine kinetic, plasma, and quantum disruption in a single unified platform, capable of neutralizing both shields and hulls simultaneously, and AI-driven tactical systems continuously updated fleet doctrines in response to observed alien behavior, simulating thousands of potential engagements in real time, allowing human commanders to anticipate, counter, and exploit even the most sophisticated enemy maneuvers. And as these fleets trained and tested in hidden zones across the solar system, Harper coordinated interplanetary communications, ensuring that logistics, supply chains, energy distribution, and crew rotations functioned seamlessly across the human sphere, while civilian production lines generated modular ships, drones, and repair units that could be deployed instantly to reinforce or replace damaged units, creating a resilient, flexible force capable of withstanding prolonged conflict. And as months passed, minor engagements with Council patrols began to demonstrate the effectiveness of human innovation. Drones neutralized weapons before they fired. Adaptive hulls deflected energy beams. Cloaking fields concealed fleets, and alien commanders reported unexplained losses system, failures, and strategic collapse. Yet assumed human failures were temporary and localized, unaware that the pattern was deliberate, that humanity's entire approach was to conceal strength until it became overwhelming, and in orbital laboratories around Saturn, energy harvesting platforms captured cosmic radiation and channeled it into fleet power grids, allowing vessels to operate independently of supply lines for months, while AI-managed simulations continuously refined tactics and strategies based on observed Council doctrines, producing human fleets capable of instant adaptation mid-battle. And on Titan, Marcus Hale walked among crews training in zero-gravity combat drills, autonomous drone coordination, and emergency procedures, noting that the sanctions had inadvertently unified humanity, removed bureaucratic constraints, and forced unprecedented collaboration across nations' industries and scientific fields, creating a civilization capable of rapid innovation and efficient execution, while across Earth, Bennett and civilian liaisons managed public perception, releasing minimal progress reports while ensuring that all technological breakthroughs remain classified, preserving the illusion of human weakness. And in deep space beyond Neptune, test fleets executed complex maneuvers using gravitational slingshots, cloaking fields, and adaptive energy distribution, demonstrating the ability to engage superior numbers, neutralize threats, and emerge unscathed, while the first real offensive units were prepared quietly, modular fleets capable of deploying anywhere across the solar system, equipped with weapons, drones, and support systems that could overwhelm any council patrol or expeditionary force. And as Harper reviewed simulation results with fleet commanders, he observed patterns that confirmed what Marcus Hale and Dr. Brooks had long suspected. The Council had created the perfect conditions for humanity to surpass every other civilization, because by attempting to weaken and isolate Earth, they had forced humans to consolidate resources, innovate without oversight, and develop strategies capable of preempting and defeating any adversary. And quietly, in hidden sectors of sanctioned space, humanity's first coordinated strike forces prepared for the day they would demonstrate to the galaxy that the sanctions had not weakened them, but forged a superpower capable of challenging, overwhelming, and ultimately reshaping interstellar power structures forever. As humanity's covert superpower expanded, the galaxy remained oblivious to the scale of its transformation, because Council intelligence continued to misinterpret human activity as disorganized, desperate, and incapable of true resistance. Yet across Mars, Titan, and orbital shipyards, production lines churn out modular warships, drones, and support platforms at unprecedented rates, each vessel equipped with adaptive hulls, cloaking systems, and quantum-driven weapons designed to counter every known alien doctrine, while Marcus Hale oversaw fleet assembly, ensuring that every design incorporated redundancy, resilience, and improvisational capability, and Dr. Samuel Brooks' teams refined energy systems capable of sustaining long-range weaponry and high-speed propulsion simultaneously, creating vessels that could strike, retreat, and redeploy faster than any Council fleet could anticipate, while AI tacticians simulated thousands of potential engagements, analyzing alien strategies, predicting countermoves, and producing adaptive human doctrines that evolve with every new observation. And across Earth, Harper coordinated interplanetary communications, ensuring that civilian industries, resource extraction networks, and scientific facilities operated in perfect synchrony, maximizing efficiency and minimizing waste, while autonomous logistics drones transported materials, components, and supplies orbital and surface shipyards with perfect timing. And minor encounters with Council patrols began revealing the hidden capabilities of humanity, as fleets would vanish under cloaking, reappear in optimal attack positions, disable enemy weapons without direct fire, and leave alien commanders reporting catastrophic failures without understanding their origin, and in secret laboratories orbiting Jupiter. Human engineers tested gravitational manipulation techniques that allowed fleet maneuvers impossible by conventional physics, slingshotting ships between planets, altering orbital vectors, and evading detection or interception entirely. While in Geneva, Bennett continued her liaison role, managing the delicate balance between classified technological advancements and public reception, releasing carefully curated reports that suggested minimal progress, while human capabilities multiplied exponentially, and across Titan, crews trained in simulated zero-gravity combat, AI-directed swarm tactics, and long-duration space operations, gaining experience and cohesion that would make them indistinguishable from seasoned veterans, while fleet commanders reviewed data from simulated engagements against hypothetical alien forces, realizing that human strategy now combined unprecedented adaptability, aggressive offense, and disciplined defense, allowing smaller forces to neutralize superior numbers efficiently. And as months became years, the human sphere of influence extended across the inner and outer solar system, with autonomous repair units, energy harvesting platforms, and logistical networks ensuring complete operational independence from Council oversight, while the Council, confident in its assumptions, remained unaware that every sanction, every restriction, every attempt to suppress humanity had forced a unity, ingenuity, and strategic brilliance that no species had anticipated, and Marcus Hale, walking the deck of the largest Titan-built vessel, observed as fleets launched, trained, and coordinated across multiple theaters, understanding fully that humanity had not merely survived the Council's attempt to constrain it, but had used those very constraints to create a superpower capable of projecting force, innovation, and influence across the galaxy, and quietly, beyond sanctioned space, human forces prepared the first coordinated demonstration of that power, ready to show the Council that their sanctions had not diminished humanity, but had forged an unstoppable civilization poised to redefine interstellar dominance. As humanity's hidden superpower matured, the galaxy continued to misread the signs, because Council fleets still assumed that human activity reflected desperation rather than preparation, yet across Mars' terraformed valleys, Titan's orbital shipyards, and the asteroid belt's industrial hubs, modular warships, autonomous drones, and energy platforms multiplied exponentially, each vessel equipped with adaptive armor capable of instantaneous redistribution of power, cloaking fields that could bend light and sensor signals around entire fleets, and weapon systems that combine kinetic, plasma, and quantum disruption to neutralize both shields and hulls with unprecedented efficiency, while Marcus Hale supervised fleet integration, ensuring that every class of ship operated in perfect synergy, and Dr. Samuel Brooks' teams refined energy and propulsion networks to allow vessels to maintain peak operational capacity for months without resupply, harvesting energy from cosmic radiation, solar flux, and even gravitational differentials, creating autonomy previously thought impossible for a species so recently sanctioned, while AI tacticians simulated tens of thousands of potential engagements against all known Council doctrines, generating adaptive strategies that evolved continuously based on observed alien behavior, allowing human commanders to anticipate, counter, and overwhelm enemy maneuvers before they could even be executed, and minor engagements with Council patrols began demonstrating the terrifying effectiveness of these innovations. Fleets would vanish under cloaking fields, reappear in optimal attack positions, neutralize enemy weapons remotely, and withdraw without a single human casualty, leaving alien commanders bewildered and reporting systemic failures they could not explain, while on Earth, Harper managed interplanetary communications, ensuring that industrial production, research, and logistics remained synchronized across planets, moons, and orbital platforms, allowing human projects to expand unhindered, and Ambassador Laura Bennett oversaw public relations and interstellar diplomacy, releasing only minimal progress reports to maintain the illusion of weakness, while in reality, autonomous repair drones, energy redistribution networks, and advanced AI coordination ensured the fleet could operate independently and sustain itself indefinitely, and orbital laboratories around Jupiter and Saturn, gravitational manipulation. Experiments allowed ships to perform maneuvers previously considered impossible, including slingshot accelerations, sudden vector shifts, and rapid deployment across vast distances without detection, and human crews trained tirelessly in zero-gravity combat, AI-directed swarm tactics, and rapid response simulations, gaining proficiency that rivaled the most veteran alien forces. While fleet commanders observed that human strategy had evolved into a combination of improvisation, adaptive offense, and disciplined defense, making it possible for smaller forces to neutralize superior numbers with precision, and as the first wave of operational fleets moved quietly into deep space beyond Neptune, autonomous reconnaissance units monitored Council patrols, gathering real-time data to feed AI decision matrices, ensuring that every potential threat could be anticipated and countered, and across the inner and outer solar system, human industrial, scientific, and military networks operated as a single, cohesive organism, free from Council oversight, bureaucratic restrictions, or political infighting, creating a civilization capable of rapid innovation, strategic brilliance, and overwhelming force. And Marcus Hale, standing aboard the flagship of the Titan fleet, recognized that humanity had not merely survived the Council's attempt to suppress it, but had transformed sanctions into a crucible, forging a superpower ready to assert dominance across the galaxy, and quietly, in hidden sectors, human forces prepared the first coordinated offensive, a demonstration designed not for destruction alone, but to announce to the Council that their attempt to contain humanity had failed catastrophically, and that Earth and its colonies now commanded a power beyond their imagining. As humanity's superpower reached its full operational capacity, the galaxy remained oblivious to the scale of the transformation, because Council intelligence continued to misread human activity as scattered and tentative. Yet across Mars, Titan, and orbital shipyards, fleets multiplied exponentially with modular warships, autonomous drones, and adaptive energy platforms capable of self-repair and instantaneous tactical reconfiguration, while Marcus Hale coordinated the integration of these forces into cohesive multi-theater fleets, ensuring that every vessel, drone, and support unit operated in perfect synergy, and Dr. Samuel Brooks' team's perfected energy projection systems that combine kinetic, plasma, and quantum disruption, allowing single human ships to neutralize multiple enemy vessels simultaneously, while AI tacticians simulated millions of engagements against all known Council doctrines, evolving human strategy in real time and producing flexible, anticipatory tactics that no alien commander could predict. And as human fleets trained in hidden sectors, minor skirmishes with Council patrols showcased their terrifying effectiveness. Cloak fleets would appear in optimal positions, disable weapons remotely, neutralize shields, and vanish without casualties, leaving alien commanders baffled and reporting system-wide failures, while Harper managed interplanetary communications to synchronize industrial, scientific, and military operations, ensuring that shipyards, energy grids, and research facilities across Earth, Mars, and Titan functioned as a single, unstoppable organism. And Bennett continued her liaison work, carefully maintaining the illusion of human weakness, while coordinating civilian oversight, public perception, and classified technological development, while in deep space beyond Neptune, gravitational manipulation experiments enabled ships to perform slingshot accelerations, sudden vector shifts, and instantaneous redeployments across vast distances, giving humanity an unmatchable tactical advantage. And human crews drilled tirelessly in zero-gravity combat, AI-directed swarm maneuvers, and rapid response simulations, achieving skill and cohesion rivaling the oldest alien militaries. And as fleet commanders observed these capabilities, it became clear that human strategy had evolved into an unprecedented combination of adaptability, aggressive offense, and disciplined defense, allowing smaller forces to overwhelm superior numbers with surgical precision, while autonomous repair units, energy redistribution networks, and logistic platforms ensure total operational independence. And orbital laboratories around Saturn and Jupiter, energy harvesting from cosmic radiation and solar flux provided virtually limitless power for propulsion, weaponry, and fleet coordination, while human reconnaissance units collected real-time intelligence on Council patrols, feeding AI systems that continuously refined tactical doctrines and deployment strategies. And as the first operational fleets positioned themselves across the inner and outer solar system, Marcus Hale and Harper convened a strategic summit aboard Titan, reviewing data from simulated and real encounters, confirming that the sanctions imposed by the Council had created the perfect conditions for human advancement. Because by isolating humanity, the Council had inadvertently unified its species, forced rapid technological innovation, and eliminated bureaucratic constraints, creating a civilization capable of rapid deployment, overwhelming force, and strategic foresight. And quietly, across sanctioned space, human forces prepared for first coordinated offensive, a carefully calculated demonstration intended to reveal to the Council not only humanity's survival, but its superiority, signaling to the galaxy that the species once underestimated had become a superpower, and that the consequences of underestimating Earth and its colonies would be catastrophic for any civilization that dared challenge it. As humanity prepared to reveal the full extent of its newfound power, the galaxy remained dangerously unaware of the scale of the transformation, because Council reports still describe human activity as minor, scattered, and struggling. Yet across Mars, Titan, and the asteroid belt, fleets now numbered in the thousands, composed of modular warships, autonomous drones, adaptive energy platforms, and self-repair systems operating in perfect synchrony, while Marcus Hale oversaw fleet coordination, ensuring that each vessel, drone, and support unit could execute complex maneuvers, deploy countermeasures, and adapt to alien tactics instantaneously. And Dr. Samuel Brooks' teams had perfected integrated energy systems that allowed ships to maintain peak propulsion, shield strength, and weapon output simultaneously, while AI tacticians simulated countless engagements, evolving doctrines in real time and producing strategies capable of anticipating, countering, and neutralizing every known alien maneuver. And as human fleets conducted exercises in hidden sectors, minor engagements with Council patrols demonstrated their terrifying effectiveness. Cloak vessels would appear unexpectedly, disable enemy systems remotely, neutralize shields and weapons simultaneously, and vanish without a trace, leaving alien commanders reporting catastrophic failures and unexplained tactical collapses. While Harper ensured interplanetary communications, industrial output, and logistics networks operated flawlessly across Earth, Mars, Titan, and orbital platforms, creating a civilization capable of sustaining large-scale operations indefinitely. And Ambassador Laura Bennett maintained public perception, carefully releasing minimal progress reports to conceal humanity's true capabilities, while autonomous repair units, energy redistribution networks, and AI-managed supply chains guaranteed fleet independence and resilience. And in laboratories orbiting Jupiter and Saturn, experiments with gravitational manipulation allowed ships to perform slingshot accelerations, sudden vector changes, and instantaneous redeployments across vast distances, giving humanity an unparalleled tactical edge. While crews trained relentlessly in zero-gravity combat, AI-directed swarm maneuvers, and rapid response drills, achieving cohesion, skill, and adaptability that rival the galaxy's most experienced militaries. And as fleet commanders observed simulations and field exercises, it became clear that human strategy had evolved into a combination of adaptive offense, disciplined defense, and predictive maneuvering, allowing smaller forces to neutralize superior numbers with precision, while in secret sectors across the solar system, autonomous reconnaissance and intelligence units collected real-time data on Council patrols and rival fleets, continuously updating AI decision matrices and ensuring optimal deployment. And as the first operational fleets assumed positions throughout sanctioned and unmonitored space, Marcus Hale, Harper, Dr. Brooks, and Bennett convened to review final strategies, confirming that the Council's sanctions had unintentionally created perfect conditions for human advancement by unifying species, eliminating bureaucratic constraints, and forcing unprecedented technological innovation. And when the coordinated offensive was finally launched, fleets moved with flawless synchronization, adaptive maneuvers, and overwhelming firepower, striking with precision, neutralizing threats before detection, and revealing to the galaxy the terrifying truth. Humanity had survived, innovated, and consolidated into a superpower capable of dominating interstellar space. And as alien observers attempted to comprehend the scale and efficiency of human forces, they realized far too late that the species they had dismissed and sanctioned had become unstoppable, and that Earth and its colonies now commanded the ability to reshape galactic power structures permanently, asserting dominance through innovation, unity, and strategic brilliance, leaving the Council and every alien civilization confront the catastrophic consequences of their underestimation, as humanity had transformed sanctions into a crucible, forged itself into a superpower, and ensured that the galaxy would never again mistake the determination, ingenuity, and resilience of Earth's people.